Right. What is happening? What has happened this weekend? A lot is happening. So we've had obviously all the issues in Spain with the migrants. Can't ignore it. Um, but we just have to be aware of what potentially, might happen. And so there's lots and lots of, rumors, whether you believe in conspiracy uh, theories. There obviously, there's some conspiracy theorists saying that obviously this is a ploy for the digital ID, so potentially they create the problem, letting in hundreds, thousands of migrants into Spain, men. There's been I've seen all sorts on X. It's not whether you believe it's all true. However, Spain are claiming that they've sent everyone home. However, video evidence is kind of saying otherwise. I don't know how you can round up that many people, but obviously what they're saying is they're creating the problem that instills panic, which is obviously what is happening. And then obviously they come up with a solution, which is potentially. I'm not saying it's true. That's just obviously one of the rumors that I've heard. The potential uh, digital ID, or it's going to tighten up restrictions across the whole of Europe. So obviously that's one thing. We need to obviously keep an eye on it. If that happens, euro's going to drop, pound's going to drop, gold is going to fly, right? So that's one thing not really happening right now, but obviously you know let's wait and see what happens here. We then have obviously Iran and the US. What has been happening is an Iranian oil tanker has been destroyed. So that's huge news. So I'm expecting oil prices to rocket if it is true. Then obviously market open, oil should absolutely fly. Yields should fly. Gold will temporarily fly, and then should obviously die off tomorrow. And obviously in turn it's gonna not in a good way strengthen the dollar. Number three on the cards is there is rumours that the Federal Reserve have started printing, money again. Now this is a bit worrying, all right, because once obviously you flood supply, the US dollar. Once flood supply, then obviously that is going to devalue the currency. So yeah, it's not great. So have to keep an eye on this one too. They obviously printed dollars during COVID, and that is one thing that obviously devalued the currency, sent gold, flying. So we obviously need to be aware of that too. Now, well, what have we obviously got coming up this week? Remember, fresh month, July. So if you're going to do anything this month, before you start trading tomorrow, and anyone can do this. Really analysed how you got on in June. What were your bad trades? What were your bad days? What were your bad times? You know, did did, did you have a particularly bad, um, mindset? And obviously, how can you counteract that? How can you, make sure that doesn't happen again? So I've got my mum in the background here cleaning up. Yeah, yeah. So all these things you have got to really really utilize it and have a look at how you've got on, say, June, May, April. Is it going to really hurt you if in July you kind of wind it back, do everything properly, risk what you're supposed to, trade how you're supposed to, stick to your plan? Is it going to really hurt you? You know? So yeah, kind of, think about it. We've all got, treat July as a bit of a clean slate, and then hopefully, we can, catapult and have a good month. And don't look at good months at the beginning as in monetary value. Look at them as sticking to your plan. All right, so that's obviously one thing that I would be aware of. Now, you guys obviously know on a Sunday evening, I'd like to, I don't like to predict what's going to happen because I'd like to, I've done that too many too many times, and I like to, let Asia kind of play out, and then I can, yeah, work out what I'm going to do tomorrow morning once London's open. But I'm expecting Asia to be active. I do not recommend trading Sunday evenings. Flat out, do not recommend it. Um, anyway, right. So looking at this week, we've got obviously lots of data. We've got inflation data um, for the UK. We've got inflation data for the US. It's going to be pretty heavy, pretty heavy. Tuesday, we got imports and exports obviously going to get hit slightly. We got jolts, you know, um, and then we got Atlanta GDP. So also US active day. Wednesday, we got some euro inflation, more UK inflation, and then we've got obviously jobs data, inflation. Everything's here. All right, it's a very active US week, so I hate to kind of always bang on about it, but obviously this war, what is happening, is making it hard. But obviously, coupling up what we've got to try and categorize this week is what is going to have the biggest impact. Is it going to be data, or is it going to be outlooks? So, and also if oil flies, it's going to make it even harder. All right, so it's not an easy week, so don't beat yourself up if you don't have, if you're struggling to obviously work out what you normally do. I mean, I've been doing this probably 12 years, and this week, even me, I'm struggling to kind of work out what's going to have the biggest impact. That Thursday, we got obviously jobless claims. But Wednesday ADP, and obviously Thursday an initial jobless claims might give us an indication um, of obviously what's going to happen on Friday. So Friday's big one, non-farm payroll, but obviously it's a very active, US dollar base week. Then probably pound. Yen. There's not much happening. However, we did have this intervention, last week, so it'd be interesting to see how, if we do get some dollar weakness, how low USD JPY can go. So we've currently got obviously dollar trading here. It's trading at 99,800. It had a horrible week, last week. If we actually range it, it it engulfed everything. It's had a big week here, engulfed that. Probably, yeah, probably not had a day that active since, yeah, March. And so, it's pretty crazy. What do I expect to happen? Well, if you're looking from a technical point of view, you would be, thinking, right, yes, we're going to get this straight continuation. We might get a pullback. However, we've got it. It's all going to be based on this baby here. All right, because if oil pumps up, right, we're going to see yields break through its March. I mean, if you think about it, this was obviously the height. It then peaked again. We've got everything going on here. We could see this really start to rocket here. So we're really gonna. I cannot stress, the the two main charts that you've got to be looking at this week are oil and US 10-year yields as well. Just watch them like a hawk, because if these, start to fly, then yeah, that is gonna, whether dollar is strong or not, it's going to drag it up, because it has to. Why? Because oil is priced in dollars. We're going to have inflation worries. That's obviously going to keep interest rates higher. It's going to it's going to push yields higher. So everything is going to drag up. So going completely against technicals here. We could, see dollar, if everything hits the fan, could be trading back up here. So this is obviously why we look at fundamentals as opposed to technicals. Now, bit of a kind of recap on what's happening. Aussie, gold obviously kind of is ranging like we've described here. It's ranging in between here. I mean, it will be worrying for the dollar if we drop, or sorry, for gold if we drop, because we're kind of the next like major consolidation zones here, which is low. 3.5K. It'll be strange to see it, but if oil flies, if yields fly, that's going to drag the dollar. Sorry, getting my words mixed up. That's going to drag gold um, down here. So we do need to be a little bit careful. We do need to be a little bit careful here. GBP if we go through our trade from Friday, pretty happy. We actually didn't take this because I was erring on the side of caution, but it triggered an absolute treat, triggered our top entry here, and then obviously rocketed up. I am expecting things to kind of maybe correct, slightly. So let's obviously wait and see here. I'm going to clear this one now. The other trade we had on Friday was euro. Expecting this, I mean, again, technically, you would want to push this one higher. But again, if dollar strengthens like we potentially think it might do, we could come into this area here. We could come into this area here. We could, come and tap these, lows here. Because obviously euro, one of the most traded FX assets, if not the most traded. I think about 60% of trades in the FX markets are always euro. I'm expecting, there to be quite a big swing if we do get that kind of big change. We then got USD JPY. Obviously, had a massive correction here. They're going to start to be a little bit happier with it here. However, we could see, this reverse potentially back up to this 160. I don't think it's got the potential to come back up here, but obviously remember, Japan, it doesn't matter which yen pay trade. If you trade yen, you need to know this one thing: they are big importers of energy, so they're big importers of oil. All right, they don't hold massive oil reserves, and so naturally, if oil is expensive, they're paying more. All right, so it's more expensive. So yeah, we have to obviously be aware of that one too. So apart from that's obviously what I'm going to be looking out for. My prediction on gold market open, I'm expecting it to probably jump up, but then tomorrow potentially die down. But it all depends on this baby here. So oil is the biggest one here. Um, you know, we could see, look at how much it gapped open here. I mean, it's been gapping open tons. It gapped open 123 pips here. It gapped down here, 420. So it could potentially, gap up here. I'm expecting this week these highs. We don't see this war, de-escalating. All we can see is escalation. So yeah, it is. I'm going to be brutally honest here. It's going to be a tricky week to trade. If you trade lower time frame, you just have to be aware of this. So our lower time frame gold trades, we don't have to worry about this at all. But obviously, longer term, we do have to. You got to get things right. If you're trading anything over like a 5 minute time frame, you've got to understand, macros, because it's going to make your trading really, really easy. Now what I'm kind of hoping for this week is we get one big continuation. We don't have any, kind of, is it escalating? Is it not? Is it all pumping? Is it all not? We want clean, yes, or no. And then it makes our trading really, really easy. So, right, I'm going to end this here. We're obviously out for dinner tonight, and then I'll be back live at 8 a.m. So I hope everyone has a great evening, and let's make sure that this week we absolutely smash it. So have a good one, team.